seconds. Charles Barkley. Johnson around his man, drives his Davis scores. So LeBron Jackson just Stoudemire scores. Rejected. What a defensive effort that time. And Crowder looking for the alley. Kevin Durant. Break it out here. With a long one, won't get it. Long rebound. Finds Booker. This is going in.
Woo! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Suns Planet. It's been a minute, for me at least. You guys have been hanging out with Podcaster of the Year, I.J. Hamilton. Good thing we got a substitution with Hamo, though, today. So we're going to see if we can still match that with a great color commentary coming out of Australia with the Thunder from down under. Hamo, say hello to the people.
Oh, you too kind, Jake. You too kind. What's going on, Planeteers? It's great to be back. I know Kev especially has been missing this live stuff. I've been missing it a bit myself too, so let's get into it. What's going on over there in the Philippines, Kev?
Hey, it's been fine. It's been a fine summer. It's actually so hot, and yeah, I just can't wait.
How hot is it?
Get back to it.
Oh.
In
Isn't that what you're supposed to say?
past couple of weeks.
Is it? Tell me the joke.
No. But in all honesty, past couple of weeks we've been going 55 degrees Celsius over here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
It sounds cold from a Fahrenheit perspective. So
I was going to make a joke and say, newsflash, it's hot in Asia, but that's not fair. 50-something degrees is not fair,
Yeah.
my man.
That is correct.
we knew it was hot in Asia because we have a guy in the Singapore who always lets us know it's hot when he gets a freak between the sheets. But we're not gonna go into great detail on the Singapore sling, and we've got some Suns content to talk about, guys. And actually, even though we've taken a little bit of a break, there's actual content that's worth talking about here. And so we're gonna have an actual whole show today, not just a short. And so let's see what we can get going with. And I don't know if you guys have heard this, because I don't know if anyone's been talking to it in the Philippines or Australia. But did you guys know that LeBron James is coming to the Valley?
We are
Shut up.
Where did that
Breaking news all over Suns Twitter. LeBron James,
I don't get on Twitter.
basically a slam dunk. No, I loved it. I was out of my own curiosity. I posted a poll earlier this week because I kept seeing so much content being dedicated to this from our friends over at Suns Jam to the Suns Geek himself to PHNX to everybody. I mean, they're all, hey, Bronny is doing a workout with the Suns and the Lakers, nobody else. So it was basically, hey, Kobe Bryant's coming to the Suns. Just like, what was that, 2003, 2004, all over again. He's back. And so we got it. I put a poll up on Twitter, and it said, what is more likely, that the Suns draft Bronny and LeBron comes to the Valley, or that Devin Booker gets traded? Overwhelmingly, the people have spoken. James is for sure on his way. But we did get some news. The New Orleans Pelicans are going to bet that the Lakers are even worse. And they're going to say, we'll take that first-round pick next year, which means the Lakers will have number 17 this year. So, gentlemen, let's get into it. Kev, let us know. The Lakers are going to keep Papa James happy, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what their perspective is. Like, is it worth drafting Bronny that high just to make LeBron James happy? I'm not so sure if it's still LeBron's team or if it's 80's team or whatnot. But I'm not sure. There are a lot of prospects out there that could really help the Lakers. They still have their 55th pick, so I think they can use it there, or use that to pick Bronny. Is what I'm trying to say. So I'm not quite sure until we arrive at draft night.
Well, Hamo, isn't this just then a game of chicken? If the Lakers don't take it, the Suns are sitting there saying, "You fools, you fools! We've just stolen LeBron James, arguably one of the greatest players of all time, certainly in the top 2, top 3 discussion. No matter who's arguing it, you can always find somebody that says he's not the best, but you don't find anyone that says he's outside the top 3 unless they don't understand basketball. So is this just a game of chicken now? Of okay, well, if you don't take Bronny with that first pick, somebody else will get him before you wait till the second round.
Oh, look, this has been a lot of fun the last couple of days, hasn't it? It's really kept us busy. Look, obviously I don't think it's going to be happening, but it's very fun to entertain. It's fantasy. It's real life 2K right now. But yeah, Rich Paul, Clutch Points, Clutch Sports, they're just stacking the deck against the Lakers, making sure that LeBron's going to get everything he wants. Does Bronny deserve to go that high? Probably not. But this is what's going down, isn't it? So I don't know, man. It's just going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting.
Well, of course, the draft is always an exciting moment, but I'm going to expand on this, guys. I'm going to read you a little stat off real quick. Bronny James played in 25 games this year for USC, averaging just over 19 minutes a game. His elite shooting percentage of 36.6% from the field, 26.7% from three. He's not a good free throw shooter for a guard at 67.6. He averages less than 3 rebounds in that time, just over 2 assists a game, and less than a block a game, 0.2 blocks and less than a steal a game at 0.8. And he would average close to 2 fouls. He had less than 5 points in a season. I know that we're used to, there's a lot of stories out there. For example, if I'm not mistaken, and I know our chat, especially with Creepy Crowley, will let me know that I'm wrong on this if I am. But Karl-Anthony Towns, I don't even believe was a starter. Devin Booker, if I'm not mistaken, was a 6-man as well. There's cases of these players coming off the bench and developing more in the NBA. I feel like I've never seen anyone's draft stock rise more than Bronny's, where I'll be honest, I'm not the best collegiate sports reviewer of all time, but I would say Bronny shouldn't even be drafted right now. But his last name is James, and he's related to one of the GOATs. So
it's pretty.
Yeah, I mean, what do you guys say? It's 100%. It's who his dad is, right?
Oh, totally. And
Yeah.
the marketing team over there with Rich Paul and that, they're doing a great job trying to increase his stock. I mean, on the second last Suns Jam, I think it may have been PHNX, but I doubt it. They were saying that he's risen from 69th to 54th over like a 3-day period. It's the narrative's right in itself. They're doing a great job of promoting this whole circus. They really are.
Well, and what's amazing, is that Scottie Pippen Jr., also of the Lakers, most recently went completely undrafted. So I mean, I think a lot of us would say, Scottie Pippen's in top 100 players of all time, right? That's not a dispute. But people looked at him, they're like, his son's good, or his son isn't good, we're not drafting him. Bronny, the fact is, Suns Twitter said, all right, Suns, go after him in the first round. Kevin, what's happening here? Are people just are we just that bored as Suns fans, and we're that frustrated with the current finals matchup that we're just like, you know what, Bronny to the moon?
No, I think we're just we're so used to grabbing stars that we want some more. Luring Bronny, no, drafting Bronny would definitely lure LeBron over here. So to be honest with you, I'm not so sure about this whole circus. There was some thought process of me that we draft Bronny, and then he doesn't turn out to be like an NBA player, and then James comes over here maybe for a good 2 years, but that pick could have turned to something else, and we will kick ourselves in the butt and say that, wow, we should have drafted someone else. So
Wait,
I think
let me pump the brakes on you real quick. You're saying if LeBron comes over, plays 2 years with the Suns on a minimum contract, but Bronny doesn't develop, we're going to be sitting there saying, we could have had some random guy at number 22 instead.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of good guys out there that could really help the team, and we can develop. That there's
Right, but
really
LeBron
a chance of it.
LeBron's not showing up
development.
because you draft Zach Edey
Well,
on a minimum
yeah,
contract, especially.
that's granted.
I've always
granted.
wanted to play with that Canadian. Yeah, that's not what LeBron's thinking in his head.
Has
The
anyone
thing
ever
is-
said that in the history
No.
of anything other than hockey?
Wait a minute. People are saying that about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander now.
Okay, I stand
Canadian
corrected.
man
That didn't
himself.
take long.
Yeah, my point is,
Hat tip to Steve Nash, making Canada famous.
the thing is, there is no guarantee with all the teams, like so strong nowadays in the West. There's no chance that a 38, 39, or 40-year-old LeBron could get us a championship. It's not always guaranteed. We've seen I don't think anybody would have thought that, it'll be a gentleman's sweep with the Mavericks and the Timberwolves series when the Wolves totally kicked our butts, and as well as almost sweeping Denver. So, you really can't tell. So I'm leaning towards to like drafting a big guy and then, make him develop. I'd certainly want, the two guys that I've mentioned before, we started the show, over Eubanks to be coming off the bench at least, and try to get them developed.
Well, what do you think, Hamo? Do we run the risk of getting 2 years minimum contract LeBron at the expense of losing out on a backup center, like Kevin said? I'm totally watering down your point, Kevin. But
No, Kev's 100% right there too, man. The missed opportunities come along too often in this sport, especially when the glaringly obvious is right there. We are taking a massive risk by drafting Bronny this season, even if it does bring over LeBron, even if, it does get us 2 years of a very aging, quote unquote, king. AJC, thanks for showing by, man. There's a lot of background talk, and I did hear a deal maybe in place or in the early stages of it, that he may come across with the proviso that he will end up with the opportunity to buy a stake in the Phoenix Suns from Matt Ishbia. That's the only thing that I've heard that sort of makes a little bit more sense for LeBron to sign a vet minimum to come to Phoenix. But it could just be smoke as well. But I think Kev's 100% right. I don't think we take the risk on drafting Bronny, and I don't particularly think LeBron is the answer to all our problems either.
Well, I'll say this about LeBron. I think he could play the four better than Durant does because he's got a little bit more meat on his bones. He can rough people up in the paint, and he's known to do that. And he's one of the best finishers in the game. He's also a great kind of point forward at this point in his career. We were so frustrated with how Booker and Beal had so many kind of lazy turnovers. Well, Durant too, just kind of like the lazier passes. I think LeBron would fix a lot of that. And if LeBron showed up, we could kind of stop saying we need a point guard for sure. Because if you've got four guys like we would have that could handle it. But again, I just don't see. I mean, if he's looking at making $50 million, I think at some point you have to. I know he's made a tremendous amount of money, but if I'm forecasting Bronny's career, it's similar to Michael Jordan's kids. Trying to make a go of it. And they did not last long. And I don't know if Scottie Pippen Jr. will last long. And you know what? When it's all said and done, generational wealth, 50 million is a lot more than 2 million when you're passing it on to family. And so I could just easily see LeBron just saying, you know what? I don't want to just play with my son, but if I could, make enough money to buy the Las Vegas franchise at some point and turn it over to my son, that's a little bit different than, hey, he and I got to play 82 games in Phoenix, Arizona. So I just don't see it happening. If they decide not to draft Bronny with that first round pick, I kind of hope the Suns don't try and dare the situation to take place, because we've got some more guys to talk about. I think that's what's next, isn't it? First off, can we give a quick round of applause? I feel like I'm on ESPN. I feel like I'm on Sports Center right now with Josh with the graphics and the video content. Man,
yes.
Where's Stephen A. Smith? What is absolutely reprehensible? Like he'd just be sitting here like absolutely tremendous. Devin Booker to the Knicks, and they'd be playing all those highlights. But so round of applause to Mr. Josh for making it all look so goddamn good. Yeah.
Thank you, Josh.
But let's talk draft a little bit further, since it sounds like the three of us are not expecting the Bronny draft to go down. We've got some other people in mind, and let's kick it off with. I think Kev's got a few ideas. Let's if we can jump to Kev's request for us to go after that 22nd overall pick.
I think we may have lost Kev for the moment.
Oh, I kicked him out. No, there we go. Kev, who do you think the Suns should take with that 22nd pick?
So I've got two interesting prospects, if you will, for the Suns. I have Wes Missy coming out of Baylor, who's a freshman. Averages 10.7 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, 1.5 blocks, or over a block a game, in 62% true shooting. Strong frame, vertical pop, and long arms. That's what he has on his pluses. By the way, I'm reading Kevin O'Connor's NBA draft board. So that certainly is
Kevin O'Connor.
Yeah, someone that is worth taking a look at. For the Suns, considering that we're short of centers or big guys that can actually play. So
what he reminds me of as I watch the highlights here with you is a Chimezi Metu mixed with a Marquise Chris. So tell me I'm wrong.
Well, his comparison as pro is Jalen Duren. So
okay,
they're way ahead of him in
where they
terms of
set the record
comparison.
for most losses in a row.
Although,
I like Jalen actually.
Yeah, the minuses that we have here is like the typical big man issues, like hackable free throw shooter, so like hack a shack, and he bites at pump fakes a lot. So, but I think he's really intriguing. He's currently at number 21st in this board by Kevin KOC. So I think he's definitely worth the intrigue that I have. I have as well, of course, Zach Edey from Purdue.
Yeah, that's right. The Zach Attack.
Yeah.
For all you Saved by the Bell kids out there.
By the way, Zach is like 6'10", and Zach is 7'3". We know him as a scorer, like 25.2 points per game, 65% true shooting, and over 12 rebounds a game, and 2 assists. So he's really a good interior scorer, as you can see on the highlights. So
he's 7'3". Gosh, remember? Yeah. Do you guys remember Glenn Reeves when he played with the Vancouver Grizzlies and they called him Big Country? I think Zach might steal that nickname coming out of Canada as Big Country.
Well, I haven't
great song, by the way. Yeah. Big Country, played by the band Big Country.
But he's really a good interior scorer and really intelligent as per KOC. Minuses, he's like a limited defender when he's out there, so you don't want him in drop coverage defending that drop. So despite the fact that he's so tall and he's like have a wingspan of 7'10". So
and I think. Yeah, Kevin, let me stop you for a sec because, as I watch him play now, like I said, I didn't watch him play much defense in college. I didn't watch him play much in college. I don't watch a lot of college. But, we saw Rudy Gobert win his 4th Defensive Player of the Year award. And that's always kind of the knock is that, you take him out of the perimeter, you can try and take him out of the game. But he still got his Defensive Player of the Year award, his 4th overall, and he was pretty effective in the playoffs. I think, when a lot of people just thought, oh, the Suns will just play them out. They really couldn't. And then the Nuggets, as much as people like to, every time the Wolves look like they were struggling, say, well, that's Rudy Gobert for you. If you looked at Joker's shooting splits, they were not strong. And I think a little bit of that is Rudy. And I mean, is that maybe, so I guess what I'm getting at is, could Zach be put in a position to be effective like Coach Bud did with Brook Lopez?
I can see that happening potentially. Maybe just a few years of development, then certainly you can transform into like a massive defender or an effective defender. And that's always the knock, as you said, with Rudy Gobert. But in this case, or in particular, the Sun series, Booker, Durant, Beal all took turns and tried to break the ankles of Rudy, but to no avail. He's good.
I mean, he's certainly improved. I mean, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like he was a statue. I feel like was kind of what he was known for with Utah, and in Minnesota, acceptable. On that. I mean, like he's not getting played off in late game situations as much as he used to. I mean, there was times where the Wolves would be playing Naz Reid, but Naz Reid can shoot a three, and he was doing that fairly effectively in the playoffs too. So. Hammer, why don't you touch on some of Kevin's ideas? What do you think of these two guys?
I'm very much like yourself, especially this season. I haven't really paid a lot of attention to college basketball. It's a little bit harder to follow over here than the NBA.
Me neither.
Yeah, we're in the same boat with everything. But we do have divorce over here. I found a fun fact out, Suns Planet. Divorce doesn't exist in the Philippines.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't.
Wait, divorce doesn't exist or divorce leave?
No, it doesn't
Divorce.
exist. There's no law. There's no divorce law over here.
That's crazy.
So what happens what happens like if a husband and wife leave each other?
Annulment.
Oh, well. Hey, yeah, the Catholic Church said, hey, you didn't know what you were doing.
Very conservative country.
I guess. Okay, but see, in fairness,
that took me right off track there. Sorry, guys.
Hemo, you were talking about divorce leave and all the kind of like extra leave that you guys like. You guys can have like stress leave if you're stressed at work. Leave. Which we only recently started getting, and most employers have quickly just started pretending it never existed, which we call mental health days in the U.S. And it was popular during COVID, and now lots of corporations are like, yeah, that was never really a thing we wanted to kind of take off because. It used to be like if you're sick, you have to call your boss on the phone and be like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to come in today. I got strep throat. And then they'd be like, all right, we don't want you inside. And now you can call them up and go, I just feel like my mind is a mess and I'm not going to be productive. And now their HR teams are like, you have to let them have a mental health day. And then you can fire them after that. Sorry, go back to the draft, Hamo. We can touch on cultural issues on another episode.
My bad. I went the complete wrong way with that. But hey, we all learned something today. Obviously not knowing a great deal, just catching up a little bit once Kevin started putting all of this together about the possible candidates for the big men. I am very much more interested in the one that you have selected, though, mainly because he's a Tar Heel. And that I don't really care anything else other than beyond that. You ask any one of the Aussies, all I did for years was say I want Cole Anthony. He ain't good. He's a Tar Heel, though.
Cole's, competed in the slam dunk contest, contributing bench player for the Magic, right? So he's not a nobody. He's not Elfrid Payton.
No, he's not.
Well, let's talk about that. The man I'm desperately trying to speak into existence, much like Patrick Ewing should have been the coach of the Phoenix Suns. Let's take a look at Armando Bacot. Armando Bacot out of University of North Carolina. I first saw him with North Carolina a few years ago as they were competing for the NCAA championship. And I thought, my God, I think he rolled his ankle like twice in that championship game, and the guy kept playing through it. I've never seen a guy tighten his sneakers tighter to try and, I thought he was about ready to lop his legs off or lop his feet off. But the guy played hard, played through it, and they fed that man in the post. A little bit limited offensively outside of the paint, But let's be honest, what would we love to see in a backup big right now is an athletic big man that can really grab a lot of rebounds, which he's certainly known for, and really draw fouls and play aggressively in the paint. Some quick stats up on him: 6'10", 6'11", 240 pounds. This kid is eating his food down in North Carolina. Last year it was a bit of a step back, so he was projected to be a late second-round pick last year. He came back to try and improve his draft stock this year for his final year, his fifth year, where he shot 54% in over 30 minutes a game. He's a strong free throw shooter for when he is shooting at over 78%, over 10 rebounds a game, 1.5 assists, 1.5 blocks, averaging just under 15 points a game. So in short, I like this kid. There's probably not going to be they probably won't take him at the 22nd. I would love to see him take him at the 22nd if Zach Edey's not actually there. But I think, hey, we've got a G League team. Like, this is the kind of guy that I think, oh gosh, who was that guy? Now I'm going to ask the great host where, part of the segment where I just asked the internet randomly open questions. There was a guy that played for the Denver Nuggets before Joker even showed up there. And he just kind of did old school, like rebounding, but he had a very limited offensive set of just layups, dunks, and like low post moves. And he was great for about 3 years with the Nuggets before people realized that was all he could do. They gave him a successful contract, and I cannot remember the name of him now.
All I can picture is Mason Plumlee. Yeah, Timothy Moskov.
No. Let's see. And it wasn't Nene. I know Nene played with
Fareed. Was it Fareed?
Kenneth Fareed?
Fareed?
Yeah.
Yep. What was his name? Kenneth Fareed.
Kenneth Fareed. Yeah, got the dreadlocks.
With the long dreads, yeah. That kind of reminds me of like this guy's skill set offensively, and kind of to steal a little bit of the Suns Jam's comparison of Grayson Allen, kind of a fuck shit up guy. Like, he just made people angry because he seemed to be playing at a definite or a different energy level than everyone else was in the paint, and so that's what I like to see. You don't hear much about the guy because he's projected to be in the second round. But, again, the fact that people are considering drafting Bronny in the first, I don't know. We'll find out how much James Jones is serious, because James kind of likes competitive guys that have competed at higher levels and have got more seasoning in college. We don't tend to go after the 19-year-old guys that played 10 minutes a game too much in the James Jones era. So we'll see. I'd like to see our Armando get a shot in the league. And he can't shoot deep shots. Okay, sorry. That shot just blew me away.
He's a big body though, man. And like you said,
a total fan favorite, like with that team. So I'm a big fan of this guy.
He's a pretty good roller.
What's that?
He's a pretty good roller in the highlights.
Yes, yeah. And, I think he would be more aggressive than Eubanks would. And if I'm not mistaken, Eubanks is expected to re-up with his player option. And I would prefer him not to be the backup center and getting 15 minutes a game. I would rather see a Zach Edey or a Bacat or maybe this Messi guy. We'll see.
Yeah.
They're all good choices, man.
Mm-hmm. But the difference too would be Zach and Armando, a little older. I think they're both about 21, 22, and have played longer. Messi would be the higher upside projection because his numbers are not on the same scale as these two guys. But no creepy crawly. I'm not going to say that. But I'm going to make Josh pivot. We're going to see how quick he is on his toes, because I want to take you guys into the boom room. I want to talk about the finals real quick. So as soon as we can do that, let's see if Josh can take us into the boom room.
What's the name of that nightclub of yours again?
You talking about the boom boom room?
Yeah, the boom room. That's it. Yeah.
And that's a great reminder that we need to shave about 3 seconds off the end. But it's so great to see all of our friends.
Josh, you need to get in that club. I'm sick and tired of saying
It's
it.
true. We need Josh like we need like a DJ in said club. Get Guy Fieri and Patty Burke dancing, something like that.
I know the bouncer, Josh. I'll let you in.
That's right. Actually, that's what we all need jobs in there. I don't know. Hamo used to bounce, I know, but I don't know. Maybe you should be like a maitre d' or something. Kev, do you know how to bartend? We could get you. I could probably get you guys jobs, some roles in there is what I'm getting at. Action shots instead of Hamo just standing in his flip flops, flashing his gang signs. There you go. Yeah. But, as this is a Phoenix Suns podcast, I wanted to ask you guys this into the boom room because the late, great Dave King, I remember when I was on Sun Solar Panel a few times, and I'd say, well, why don't we talk about some of the other things going on in the NBA at some point? And he goes, because this is a Suns show. And I'm just like, okay. So we will do a very abbreviated NBA Finals point here. And that is, we've got the Boston Celtics, the Dallas Mavericks, Jason Tatum against Kyrie Irving, best player of the Mavericks. And I guess it comes down to this. What I want from you guys is, who do you want to win? And who do you expect to win? Hamo, what do you got for us?
Who do I want to win? Neither. However,
You have to choose.
like,
That's the however.
seriously, just do not care this season, man. Like, we do not want Luka to win. We don't. But I hate Boston. I can't stand Jason Tatum's face. Just punch him right in the suckhole. Ugh. But
Josh, let's clip that for later content, please.
oh yeah,
Right in the suckle.
what's his name? Rog Briggle.
Yeah.
Look, I never ever will do this again, but I want Boston to win. I don't want Luka to win. That's the only reason I'm going for Boston. If it was possible that it could be like a draw, I'd even take that. But no, Boston all the way. Aaron Gabra.
All right. Kev, your thoughts?
It's really hard, yeah. First off, I
She
want
said,
no, not that. I wanted Kyrie to win one. At least Kyrie. But my thoughts are like giving me it's gonna be Boston who's gonna win this series, especially if.
Wait a minute.
Chris-
Let me back up. Did I misunderstand you? You want Kyrie to win?
I wanted Kyrie to win one. Yes.
Interesting. To win one.
But-
He's won before.
he's already won before.
You just want
I
the rich to
him
get richer.
win. Yeah.
Kevin, you
He's-
need to have a divorce. Excuse me, an annulment from this man. Kyrie Irving, are you serious? Okay, I was expecting somebody else to be like, I just really want PJ Walker to win one. But Kyrie.
Okay, so let me rephrase. I want DJJ to win. Okay.
Okay.
All right. DJJ. I want DJJ
Respect.
to win
Respect.
one. Yeah. But I think Boston's gonna win this whole thing.
Okay.
Let's go, Boston.
Yeah, I don't really have a huge problem with Jason Tatum's face, but I will say I think Tatum is overrated for the class that they put him with a lot. I feel like over the last couple of years, it's fascinating to me. I think he's a skilled offensive player, but when he gets into the playoffs, his numbers come down, and he really flamed out in a few series. And it's interesting to see kind of sports media people talking back and forth. Well, Jaylen Brown or Jaylen, turns the ball over a lot, and they kind of almost give an excuse, I feel like, to Tatum for taking so many bad deep twos. I mean, I think what I like about this team, well, they certainly talk about rich getting richer. I mean, the fact that they were able to get Drew Holiday this year, I feel like might have been one of the most underrated things. I mean, everyone was talking about Dame Lillard going to Milwaukee, going to team up with Giannis, and I'm just like, Drew Holiday bullied Chris Paul to the finals. Like we had our hands full with Giannis, but Drew Holiday turned Chris Paul into just, I don't know, Kendall Marshall. Shout out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like Drew Holiday is a
Overall
strong
pick.
guard. And then Derek White has been having a strong season too. And then Kristaps Porzingis, like I said, I can't believe they were able to acquire all this talent that they had. So I'm actually more excited to watch Drew Holiday, Derek White, and Porzingis than I am Tatum or Brown. And I expect the Celtics to win. I want the Celtics to win. I understand Luka is a phenomenal player. I don't want to see him win. And I kind of am over Kyrie too. Like, to me, if there's a diva contest, it would probably be between the two of those players, Luka and Kyrie in the NBA for the most. Just like, well, Kyrie doesn't complain so much like to the refs, I feel like Luka does. But Kyrie just like, okay, the Earth's not flat. I don't know how you go from Australia to the United States and then just be like,
Australia
"Oh, it's
doesn't
not
exist. Ask
Yeah,
the
well,
internet. We're
he
all
clearly
paid
never
actors.
flew west from where he was from in Sydney. He's a
I'll
Sydney
tell you
guy.
what's really cool, though, with Boston, too. I should have mentioned it when it was my turn. Sorry, Jake. But I think it was 2 games ago. The resurgence of Al Horford.
yeah.
He's someone a lot of people wrote off, dude. A lot of he's
Oh, yeah.
old, his body's breaking down. He dropped 7 3-pointers in that game, man, and was just absolutely everywhere. Everywhere
was
that
the
every
one.
other player was not.
He was the one who killed the Suns during their matchup in Boston, like hitting like 6 or 7 threes.
He
My
has he shows up at the right time.
Yeah.
Like in series, in games, in things like that, man. And for his tenure, his age, his body, because he's a little bit thicker on the side of, he's not like Kevin Durant where he's built like a twig. But no, it's good to see, man. It's good to see Al Horford still out there doing Al Horford things at a reasonable level.
Oh, yeah. I feel like Al Horford's been there for like 20 years. Not like in Boston per se, but like he's had a long career of just production. I mean, the guy that continued to kind of evolve his game, and it's impressive to see. But like I said, it was sad to see the Timberwolves. I guess that it feels weird to say. It was sad to see the Timberwolves fail. I really didn't want to see, going back to somebody's got to win, and I hope it's neither of them. I felt the same way about the Western Conference Finals as well. I did not want to see the Mavericks move forward, and the Timberwolves. Shout out to Suns Worldwide for putting together that clip of Anthony Edwards making fun of the Suns for getting blanked in the elimination game by the Mavericks, to then repost that and say, like, isn't it ironic that the T-Wolves just got smashed in their elimination game? But like I said, this is a Phoenix Suns podcast, so we will go ahead and return to some of the rumorvilles, and let's start back up with another center. God dang, we love centers in this episode. We should rename this episode the center episode. Is Patrick Ewing? No, is Andre Drummond is being looked at by the Phoenix Suns? We're told again. Andre Drummond's expected to have a lot of suitors. I mean, this guy has made rebounding an art form, and he had a pretty good run with the Chicago Bulls as the backup center this year. As you can see the stats there, and actually, did he play 27 minutes a game? I thought he played less than that. I thought he was closer to 19, but I could be off. But I know his rebounding regular season stats career. Thank you. Perfect. I was going to say, he did have a long run as the starter for, I think, the Pistons, right? When
Detroit,
he go to, I think Chicago, though.
Greg Monroe.
Yes, yeah. And he was also dating the girl from the Disney iCarly show. So trivia that you were not expecting on Suns Planet today.
We're learning together, people.
You know what it reminded me of? If anyone remembers, okay, we'll find out. We'll test everyone's knowledge real quick. There was a show back when I was in undergrad called Flavor of Love, brought to you by Flavor Flav. And instead of, like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette giving somebody a rose at the end of the episode to tell them they stay, if you don't get a clock, your time is up, is what Flavor Flav would say. And there was a gal that won it named Hoops. And Hoops
She went on to be with Shaq.
Her brightest moment was being on that show, with the exception that after that show, she was dating Shaquille O'Neal, and the pictures of those two together of like 5'3" hoops and 7 foot tall Shaq were very similar to this Andre Drummond relationship of just like they're holding hands and you just see like a little girl just like her hands like way up in the air trying to hold on to him, and so it was kind of adorable. But Andre
He's very
Drummond,
cute.
I always liked this guy. Even when he played for the Lakers, I was like, hey, hope we don't have to face him, even though we ended up beating him pretty well. Would he have a role on this team, guys? And do you want to see him pursued? Let's be honest. It would be on a minimum contract. He's probably going to get better offers. But, Kev, should we go after the Drummond?
I think no question you should get him. If we're talking about someone who would replace Eubanks from the rotation, you absolutely have to get him. Now, earlier on, I played around some stats, and this is where conversation can get like really interesting. So I went out and I did my way, due diligence, and pulled up Nurkic stats. And as far as I can see, in terms of last year, they're just basically the same player. So Drummond, 8.4 points a game. Nurkic, 10.9 points a game. Drummond, 9 rebounds a game. Nurkic, 11. And then we have the minutes. Minutes of Drummond, as you've mentioned, it's 27.3 minutes per game, and he played 76. Oh, sorry, no. My bad. I'm talking about Drummond. That's 17 minutes a game with the Chicago Bulls. He played 79 games, so he's pretty resilient in terms of taking care of his body. 8.4 points, like I mentioned, and 56% in shooting. Now, when you compare that with Nurk, you see that they're the same player basically, and Nurk is earning like 18 million next year, and Drummond had like only 3 million when the Bulls signed him. So it's kind of like taking a discount for the same player, same stats that you're gonna get from the same center, or for a center. So I don't know. It's just interesting to me that we could have Drummond at that center spot, and then let's just split it with like a draftee or a center that we will be getting from the draft. So no question, we should pursue him if it's just a backup role, but it's just something that I'd keep my eye on. I actually have this interesting idea. What if you trade Nurk, attach the 22nd pick in draft night, get Drummond, via free agency, you have yourself a center, and then trade Nurk with a 22nd pick for a playable wing, maybe. So it's something that
I know we
played for
can't
in the mind.
aggregate contracts and we can't stack
Yeah.
players, but can we stack picks?
Yeah.
That I'm not sure, but I know it
picks
has to
with
be like
players.
one on. It has to be 1-on-1, because you're the second apron. But I'm not so sure with the pick if you can attach a pick.
Well, we could, I think, put the pick with Nurk and essentially salary dump him and come under the apron. That sounded inappropriate. We would be under the apron at that point. And stop it. You guys have bad thoughts. But Hamo knows I'm going right to him. Hamo, our center's basically the running backs of the NBA now. We have a few elite ones, and then you have guys like Andre Drummond that, as Kevin points out, statistically speaking, not that much different than Nurkic, but Nurkic is getting paid significantly more than he is right now.
The game shifted from being a big man's game to being this new era of game, this 3-point game, this Chef Curry game. Yeah, me too, one. Me too, JC. It hurts. There's an extreme lack of the big men that we grew up with. Your Patrick Ewings, your Lonzo Mornings, your Shaquille's, even some of your bigger forwards, your Larry Johnsons. God, I miss the grandmama. God damn, he was good. Charles Barkley, guys like that. There's some people that have similar body types to that in the NBA at the moment, but they're not the level of player that these guys were. And yeah, you could say it's because of today's game. You can't foul as heavy. You can't do this and that. But I think the resurgence, especially with the addition of Victor Wembanyama into the league this past season, I think there will be a resurgence in big men. I just hope that they are not going to be like Porzingis, where they're quite possibly have all the tools to be the greatest big men of all time, but just either get injured, injury prone, or just suck. So, in short, yes, I think the big man is going to be a key focus for every team going forward shortly.
Okay. You're the first person I feel like that has told me recently that Porzingis sucks. Who averaged over 20 points a game and shot almost 38% from three, 7 rebounds. But yeah, injury prone for sure. It definitely could be considered injury.
When I say he sucked, I mean in terms of his potential. Because that guy knows how good he can be, man, but he's soft.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Now, I want to push back just because of how many injuries he's had, that I could see why he'd be tentative to, it's like the guys that sprain their ankles all the time, they stop jumping as high as they can on rebounds because they're terribly nervous about somebody sticking their foot underneath their landing spot and coming down and just rolling it again. Because once you start to sprain your ankles, you can repair it, but it becomes easier to sprain moving forward. And so as you continually do it, it can get easier.
I understand the hesitation. I understand the tentativeness of especially because he's such a big human. One of my good friends who's a diehard Knicks fan, he's not well in the head. He went over to the MSG.
All over him.
No, it's just he's a Knicks fan. He went over to MSG and he was sitting about maybe 7 rows tall from the front. And Porzingis has walked past and he's got his phone just going like this, and they're still at eye level. And it's just like, and my mate's like 6'4". It's like, he's a huge body, man. I can't imagine what it's like having to maneuver around life being that size and the impact that it has on your body. So I do get it, but you're a professional, mate.
Just hurt yourself if you have to. No,
just do it.
But okay, well, let's see. I think so. We're on board if the price is right on Drummond. That'd be a fair description right now. But let me put it this way: Drew Eubanks or Drummond backing up at center. If you have to pick one.
There's no question. That's
okay.
That's Drew Eubanks.
I'd take Kev over Drew.
The curveball.
No, it's Andre Drummond.
Okay.
I'd take Kev over Drew Eubanks.
Poor Drew. I tell you what. Yeah, actually, let me expand on this a little bit more before we head into Q4 of this week's game. But Yusuf Nurkic, I feel like we were singing his praises a lot this season. The multiple 20-plus rebound games. He actually, if you look at it on a per 36-minute basis, Nurkic led the league in rebounds. So, I understand he trying to guard or go up against the Timberwolves, they were either pulling him out, putting him on Karl Anthony Towns or Naz Reid, and so he'd be pulled out to the perimeter, or Rudy Gobert is a tough guy to score on, so Nurk struggled. But are you guys at all surprised that the Suns fans are just like, all right, maybe we can just dump his salary, or like maybe we can trade him for so-and-so, when, for a while it was, wow, glad we got Nurk. Much better than what Ayton would have been for this team. Are any of you else surprised how quickly the bell has tolled for Mr. Bosnian Beast?
I'm going to jump straight in there, man. No one ever asked me if I wanted Nurk gone.
Okay. Would you like Nurk?
And with that, hit it.
Here goes a flush, savage slam dunk, rebound with the sound of this welcome funk. Bosnian Beast.
Okay. That is impressive that Josh was able to read your mind, because I don't know who else wants to be inside that head, Hamo. But
Thank you, Josh.
that was perfect timing, because when you're like hit it, I'm like,
What?
what? Yeah, exactly. Hit what? Okay. So nobody's asked you. I'll ask you. Do you want Nurk gone? And no, I have to rephrase that, because I feel like it's like, well, for the right thing is always the caveat, right? So, do you think that we should be aggressively shopping Nurkic? Do you think there's something out there that would be a significant improvement?
You have to aggressively shop.
Somewhere else because we ship him out.
You have to aggressively shop as many people as possible this season, with a couple of exceptions. I love Nurk. He loves us. I don't want to see him go anywhere, but this is a business. This is a professional setting. So if it is for something that will benefit us more, help us achieve more, help us go further, don't let the door hit you.
Okay. Kev, let me throw the question back to you. I mean, are you surprised at, the Fickle Sons fandom that just says, you know what? See you, Nurk.
No, not really. I think while rebounds are great, they're. I'm sure all of us noticed his inability to make gimme layups.
Mhm.
So many points that could have helped us. But in terms of just shopping him around um, for another center, I don't think there's anyone out there that you know that could really help us in terms of what he does for us. Um, you could go with my idea to just trade him and attach a pick, and then just let Drummond start when you get Drummond through free agency. Um, you have some options as well. As far as I can see, there are like centers that are free agents this summer. You have Valanciunas. He's
Oh,
a
yes.
yep. Uh, Rashawn Holmes, which is loved by.
Oh, no.
Oh, you don't love him? Well,
I follow his
you just
mom
need to
on
love
Twitter, Dr. Holmes.
We did about 6 years ago.
He's a great follow. She loves her baby boy.
him. Wiseman's out there, although unplayable.
He's
Yeah.
he was the second overall.
Is
He's totally going to the
is
top.
Zubats up this year? Zubats is up, isn't he?
Let's
Ivan?
see his name. Ivinka.
I might.
I don't think so.
No, I might. Hernan Gomez. I don't know. All white people look the same to me.
Kevin Love
Hernan
is
Gomez is
free
best
agent.
known for the Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, that cat.
Yeah. No,
Nick Claxton is a free agent, but I think he's unrestricted. But I don't know.
the problem I have
yeah.
with this right now is that Nurk was still our best interior defender,
Yeah.
and our best rebounder by far, and so as you point out, like, we don't have to ship him out for another center per se, but you do need to make sure that stuff is replaced at some point, because Kevin Durant's not going to become a double digit rebounder anytime
No.
soon.
No.
And so that's my concern. I just think like Nurk filled a need very well, and it's just interesting that I think Suns fans were so frustrated that it's like, oh, Kevin Durant, Booker, and Beal couldn't get it done. Way to go, Nurk! Like messing it all up for us. It's like, okay, I expect my 3 stars to do a little bit more star lifting than Nurk. Who I think is a very solid, if you don't have to rely on Nurk to win games, he's a very quality starter in this league. I think a little overpaid because, as we pointed out with the Drummond comparisons, you could maybe get somebody for, easily half of Nurk's salary right now. But Nurk is on the books for this coming season and the next, I believe, at about 18 plus roughly.
2025, 2026, 19 million.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it's a contract that's worth shopping too, as Hamo says. I mean, you got to take a look at what else could you bring in around that salary. that would improve this team.
Yeah, you've
It's
got to get down to
hard
that
thing.
apron.
Yeah.
At some point.
And guys, if you're looking for a bit more in depth into what Nurk did this season, head over to Bright Side of the Sun. I put together a piece maybe a week or two ago, going through all the accomplishments that Nurk had in this season, because it was definitely not a bad season for Nurk. And like Jake said, I think there's a lot of it's falling on Nurk for unnecessary reasons. So yeah, head on over to Bright Side of the Sun and check that out.
Well, and I want to make sure there's a correction there. You didn't do it. IJ Hamilton has been producing some wicked fire content over at Bright Side of the Sun, which we are now a part of the Bright Side Network. So shout out to Bright Side of the Sun, managing editor John Boyda, and his gracious invitation to us. If you've read Kevin or IJ Hamilton's penmanship, you've been enjoying a lot of off-season coverage of the Suns. So when you're done reading those great articles, come back here and check us out. Or after this episode's over, go read a little bit more about how. Who's the latest article you guys written on?
I did 4 today, man.
4. Oh my goodness.
So as you can tell,
Saban Lee. Saban Lee was the last one.
Saban Lee. Is he better than Bronny? I don't know. After this episode, you go check out and see what IJ's got to say on the whole deal. Let's move into Q4, gentlemen, where we're going to talk a little bit about coaching staffs. Coach Bud has brought in some new faces and retained one as well. I'm going to read some names off, and I hope I don't butcher them too bad. But they added Chad Forcier, Vince Lagarze, and Chasen Allen. And then, of course, the name that we probably all know a little bit better is Coach Fizdale. Coach Fizdale was rumored to be looking to move back into the front office. He had a front office role prior to coming back to the bench with the Suns. And before that front office role, I believe with the Grizzlies, he was a head coach in this league at one point. So what's interesting is that Fizdale has been asked to stay on the bench and join Coach Bud's team. So let's start with the guy that we all know, I think, a little bit better, with Fizdale sticking around. Do you guys like the approach? Or I could see some people saying, hey, Fizdale didn't help make the corrections. It didn't seem like it that we needed last year. Why are we keeping him around on Coach Bud's team?
I'll go first. I actually, in addition to that, I actually saw someone. I'm not sure. It's pretty huge. That Twitter account has a pretty huge following. But he said, you gotta wonder if the Suns are keeping him just to avoid paying him for nothing if they fire him. So that's something to really think about, if that was really the case. But since you have Coach Bud in there, I don't think that is the case. I think Bud sees something at him, and the report says prominent role. So I'm thinking he's the new Kevin Young of the team. So I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. I see him approaching players, talking to them during the timeouts, and he's really passionate about from my perspective, he's really passionate about talking to to players during timeouts. So I'm okay with it. I'm not bothered by it.
Okay. Hamo, what are your thoughts on Fizz?
Love it. Absolutely love it. He developed a very close coaching relationship with Bol last season. This puts us one step closer to bringing Bol back, which I truly believe underneath the coaching system that we're putting together, he can be a significant piece for us this season. Everything Kev said, he's a personable guy. He's always smiling. He's got great relationships with the players. He's a great media guy as well. He's happy to talk to the media and stuff. I'm very happy to bring back Fizz. I don't think you should have done this last season, coach, or you should. He got overruled on a lot of stuff, man. He got overruled on a lot of stuff, whether it was coming from Vogel or KY Jelly, we don't know. But I'm happy to have Fizz back. I really am.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's talk about some of the other names that we've got. Chasen Allen is joining the group. He most recently was coaching the G League Wisconsin Herd, the Milwaukee Bucks developmental team. They also picked up Vince LaGarza, who coached with Coach Bud during his final year in Milwaukee, and then Chad Forcier, I believe, was he was on Coach Bud's 2019 through 2023 coaching staff, and most recently coached with the Utah Jazz under Will Hardy. So I feel like Coach Bud just like a scene from Anchorman, just told the news team to assemble. Tell me I'm wrong.
Loud noises. Sorry, I've seen that movie in a while.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
I love Lamp.
But is there any concern that Coach Bud is just calling back his buddies to try and make another go, or
he can't do this by himself?
Feel comfortable with the guys he's worked with before?
He can't do this himself, Kenny. It has to be passed on through like James Jones, Matt Ishbia kind of things. You can't just go out there and hire people without talking to anyone. Right. So this goes to show me personally that we're all in on Coach Bud's and Coach Bud's system. Mm-hmm. If James Jones or whoever is in charge of that final sign off on saying, "Yep, go for it," it really shows to me that we're putting a lot of faith in Coach Mike, and I'm all for that. So yeah, I don't think it's so much like a cronyism, jingoism kind of thing. I think it's more so about we know that his system will work with this current team, or we believe that it will. We don't know, we believe. And if our guys are cool with it, I've got to give them the faith, man.
All right, Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah.
Keep the recipe the same, or should we be dropping some paprika in the mix and see if it comes out as a little bit different?
I think I'm gonna go with Hamo, and I'm reading a little bit about Forcier here, and that's a pretty impressive coaching resume that he has. Two-time NBA champion as an assistant. One with the San Antonio Spurs in the 2013-14 season, and the Milwaukee Bucks, when they beat us. So that's a pretty outstanding coaching resume that we have here. The rest, the recently reported Chasen Allen, if I'm pronouncing his name right, I think he could be like a developmental coach. I'm not sure what his role is going to be, but coaching the Bucks' G League affiliate. That's what my impression is. And for the person named LaGarza, was it? Is it LaGarza?
Yep.
LaGarza, yeah.
So longtime assistant of Budenholzer. Well, not long time, but he was in his staff, as you said. So I think bringing back the old bands or the old mates that you had when you have won like a ton of games and won a championship is not a very bad idea. I think it's a strong coaching staff that
straight up
he's assembling.
Yeah, I'll say there must have been some conversations, obviously, with Fizdale to kind of get buy-in between the two, because I think so I kept putting in the caveat, is it kind of bad just to go back and hire all of his buddies up again? But I'm not, as you guys kind of point out, it has to go through James Jones and Ishbia as well. The reason why I make that point is, if you think about it, last year, yes, Vogel did get to bring in some of his own guys, but we retained the highest paid assistant coach, Kevin Young, who is also interviewing for the exact same role. And so it's very uncomfortable to be like, oh, hey, you're the guy we chose, and the guy that'll be reporting directly to you is also going to be the highest paid person, and he wanted your job, and we considered him for your job, but you got it, so you're up here on him. Be sure to get along with him. Also, we just also brought in another former head coach, Fizdale, and he's going to be on your bench too. So don't feel threatened at all. But if you mess up, we might fire you and replace you with any of these other guys we think can run a team.
Yeah, and by the way, KY won't be here next season.
Exactly.
Because what,
And this
6
is
minutes into the season, he
Yeah.
signs to go back to college.
Mhm.
But I'll tell you what though, that is it Chasen? If that's how you pronounce it, that dude's gonna have to change his name, man, because like that's too close to Grayson. I'm sorry. That's not
Grayson.
gonna work. You know how they like some players have gentleman agreements about letting each other use their numbers and so forth. Yeah, there has to be something done with that dude's name, man. Change your name, bro.
You want a
I'm not fair.
Filipino pronunciation?
Yep.
Grayson Allen and Chasen Allen.
Chaison Allen.
Ooh. Now, female
All right, you
viewership
did
just
that,
went
Kev,
through the
because
roof.
if I would have said Chasen Allen, like people like
Jason Allen.
if I had done that before you did that, people would be like, "Wow, Jake, that's
Racist.
inappropriate to make it sound like that." And now that you actually made it sound like
I
that,
did it.
much
That
better.
was me. That was all me.
That was beautiful.
But I know somebody that we are a huge fan of on this show. The voice that made it all possible for me to stick with this team, from all the way here in Iowa, thanks to internet radio, was Al McCoy. And Al McCoy had a very heartfelt moment when he got to announce our newest head coach. And we've got some role to play for you. We got the video.
You hung out for a little bit longer?
Go on, Al.
Still here, Coach.
Perfect.
I had 51 years,
I told one of the people, I said he's been so good. Before every game, I would try and find him and say hello, and he's just been the kindest, nicest man to me. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Good to see you.
No, good to see
Okay,
you.
I'll
Thank
sneak
you.
out.
Okay.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I love that
he's
because I tell you what, I got to meet the man, Al McCoy. I got him to sign my Al McCoy book that he wrote. He is the most he kind of doesn't. I don't know if he's uncomfortable with platitudes or if he just is so comfortable that it just doesn't faze him. Because I was like, man, you are so amazing. Thank you. And but it wasn't like, oh, thank you so much. But you could just tell Bud's sitting there just and Bud mentioned this during his initial press conference. I used to listen to this guy call the games. He's here to welcome me into the the team now. I was trying to say hello. He's like, all right, Mike, have a good one. and he's very sincere, Al. He comes across that way. Super nice. But he's at that point in his life where he's like, all right, I got to get back home. Wife's gonna be upset if I'm late. So he also knows. I guess he's not.
Matlock's on in half an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he doesn't get intimidated. There's not a bright starlight that I feel like if Michael Jordan walked up to Al, he'd be like, "Hey, Mike, how's it going? Good player. Have a good one." Whereas other people would be like, "Oh my God, that's Michael Jordan." Al McCoy would be like, "I've called your games." No, that was that got me in the feels a little bit. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's like you seeing your favorite player in person.
You can tell Bud was Bud had a press conference, but yeah, you can tell that Bud really likes that he's in Phoenix. This is his state team.
Yeah,
He's
I
had
certainly felt
he had a
that
tough
as
year.
well.
Sorry, Kev. Go ahead,
Yeah.
mate.
Sorry. Yeah, watching that press conference, I was at the office, to be honest, but I was sneaking in with my phone and watching that press conference take place. And I remember him just like, this guy is going to cry himself out while speaking to the media. Wow. So it's really, his voice is like mine right now. He's shaking, very nervous and very emotional. It's just good to see. It's just one of those terrific story where you grow up watching this team play, and then now you're coaching it. Fast forward to the future, it's just one of a kind story.
For sure. No, I'm excited. I'm excited to try. I wasn't as excited at first because it should have been Patrick Ewing, but hey, Coach Bud, not a bad choice. The more I get to see of this guy, the more he starts to win me over. As I was kind of being dragged there a little bit and just thinking, I don't know about this, but the more I kind of remember that he's not just the play random defense guy in the NBA Finals, the more I start to think, you know what? It seems like he does demand a lot from his players, and by doing so holds them accountable, but it's because he wants the best for them. and he builds strong relationships with them. It always surprised me with how quickly they thought about dismissing him, and he won the NBA championship, coached the team to the finals. And there was talk all that playoff season. If he didn't get him there, he would have been fired. Shortly after that, they do fire him after they get knocked out by the 8th seeded Heat, right? If I'm not mistaken. What's that?
Well, I remember him going through something. I think his brother died in a crash during that playoff run.
I was just checking that up. I'm pretty sure that was the same thing as well. That that's half the reason he took a year off as well. So,
and it was pretty unfair, to be honest. But it was a good thing that he could rest up to now. So 2 sides of the coin there. But are you sure, Jake? Let me get back to you. Are you sure, Jake, that they're not going to play random defense?
Oh, we still might, but I think I'm going to be excited to see the faster-paced offense as well. It's we have a very high-powered offensive team. It was surprising to me that we weren't more dominant in that category. But Hambo, go ahead.
Just doing the quick research because I was going along the same lines as Kev there. Yeah, it was confirmed back in April of 23 that prior to Game 4 of the Bucks Heat best of 7 that Budenholzer actually lost his brother in a car crash prior to the game. So this is a man that not only has been through personal tragedy, professional, you could call it tragedy, losing his job, when I don't think it was warranted when he won his first championship in a very long time. For him to walk out and show the emotion, the love and desire that he is in Arizona, where he grew up, where, he grew up listening, like yourself, Jake, listen to Al McCoy. He played in Arizona, high school, or he's an Arizona native. For a long time, I said a lot of the same things about DeAndre Ayton. He wants to be in Phoenix. That, to me, is a massive thing. They wanted to be there. DA did at the start. I'm glad he doesn't anymore. And he's going back to Detroit with Monty. But I love when it's like the hometown boy come good. And it's awesome to see Coach Buds back out here. Excited to be in Phoenix. Get to have that awesome moment with Al McCoy. You could see him, man. Like the tears were in his eyes the whole time. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I just hope I'm sure they've done their due diligence, and it's just an emotional moment for him. And I hope he's ready to commit because, as was pointed out, he lost a brother. He was divorced. He got divorced. He got fired.
Obviously, doesn't live in the Philippines.
That's one heck. Exactly. He got it annulled. That's one heck of a year to have. And so, most of us wouldn't bounce back in a year and take we might all try and take a multi-million-dollar contract after a year to try and fill that gap. But I hope he's ready. I think he is. And actually, maybe that reinforces the bringing some guys back in that know how to work with him to kind of make sure he's got that support system. So again, he's not looking over his shoulder and saying,
familiar.
Hey, why is Kevin Young here? Hey, why is this other head coach here? Like, I don't feel like you guys actually are buying into me. So I think we are bought into Bud, and that's great to see. Let's move to wrap up, guys. We'll go into final comments here. Let the folks know where they can find you and drop off what little nuggets of info you'd like to have. And let me also say real quick, we have cracked over 200 viewers, across all platforms today. This is a new Suns Planet record. Thanks, everyone, for being here. If you haven't subscribed to us, if you haven't already liked this video, like this video. And we're going to be coming back to you multiple times. We like to be your Saturday morning show if you're in the U.S. and everywhere else, your Saturday night or Sunday show. Or whatever you're watching us. That's whatever you're watching us. We like having you here. But, gentlemen, start to wrap us up. Let's go with Kevo first.
Who? Kevo? Kevo?
Kevo.
You say Kevo?
It's a smash
Kevo.
of Kevo and Kev. Yeah.
Oh
Kevo.
goodness. Well, wow, it's over 200 viewers today, huh? That is awesome. But yeah, you guys can find me at
And
on
3 of them are
X
from the Philippines. You're bringing
from
the
the
country with
Philippines.
you, Kev.
Yeah. Shit. So yeah, you can find me at X at I'm Kevin PS. I've changed my handle recently. I was so tired of them calling me something that I do not appreciate. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I'm Kevin PS at over at Twitter, and you can find some of my work at Brightside. Given I've written only one piece at
Tell them
Brightside.
about that piece, Kev.
Yeah, I wrote about
The most
a
popular
player
Suns
review
player.
for Yudoka Azubuki. A player review for this past season. Go ahead and check that out on Brightside. I'm not the
Is
Hamo there who has a
100%
lot of
written
time.
in Tagalog.
Yes, it was. Well, no. Unless you
Tagalog.
will translate it.
Tagalog?
It's
Tagalog,
Tagalog,
man.
yes.
Tagalog.
Uneducated fuck.
So there is no Filipino language. We speak Tagalog. Okay.
Kev, can you tell us something in Tagalog real quick, and then tell us what it means in English, so that we can act real fancy at cocktail parties this weekend?
Oh no.
Say like
Is there like
and
a common
subscribe.
Filipino saying? Yeah.
You know what? Give me a line and I'll just because I might
Tell
say
the
something
people to like and subscribe in Tagalog.
Hey mga kababayan, mag-subscribe and mag-like sa YouTube channel ng Sons Planet Podcast. That's it.
Love
See?
it.
Now those 3
That's
people
awesome.
are definitely going to do it because they understand what you were saying. The whole rest of the show, they didn't know what was happening, but that part of the show, they knew. They learned. Hamo,
Oh goodness, fun times.
speak a little bit of that Sydney slang to us.
Yeah, I'm not putting on any accent for you, man. This is actually how I sound. It's terrible. But no, look, guys, this is amazing. We are very young in our podcast tenure, but the support and love that we're getting from the public out there, we appreciate it, guys. We just want to help bring you the best content possible. The more that you like and subscribe and share helps the algorithms, helps us get ourselves out there so we can have access to bring you better, closer, more personal information when it comes to our Phoenix Suns. But you can find me at Sir Hamo on Twitter. Please jump on. I love chatting with Suns fans. If you want to come on, have a go at me too, I'll welcome that as well. Why the hell not? It's what it's there for. It's social media. Don't come to Australia because it doesn't exist. And yeah, thanks for being here, guys. Follow us over at Brightside. We've got something else in the works soon. Hopefully, we'll be able to bring that to you. Hopefully, next episode. But yeah, Brightside of the Sun. Very thankful and appreciative to Mr. John Voida from Suns Jam Session for the opportunity. It's something I'm really enjoying at the moment, guys. I hope you're enjoying the writing over there from all of us as well. So thank you very much to Josh, our producer, who's done a sensational job on this episode, man. You have done so well. Everything has been on point, and I'm just rambling. So take us away, Jake.
Well, I'll just jump over real quick. Josh, do you want to wave hi to the people real quick?
Yeah, sure. I don't look the very best. I wasn't ready to be on camera, but I'm cooking rice right now. I'm taking care of my son, and I'm producing. So,
You're
multitasking.
cooking, brother. We know you're cooking.
See and hear from you to know that that's the man in the background that makes all this stuff look fantastic for us. So again, we thank you, Josh. We'll let you get back to the rice. Is it brown rice, white rice? What kind of rice do you think?
It's jasmine rice.
Fucking racist.
Yeah, jasmine.
Unnecessary, Jake.
Anyway, I'll move to close this out. You can follow me at Fallen Founder on Twitter. Glad to be back here with you guys. We're gonna have some fun episodes to go into. I think to continue through this off season, which ended far sooner than we would have liked. Sorry, now I'm getting distracted by all the laughter on screen. So stay tuned with us. We're going to have some bigger announcements coming on. We're so excited to be part of the Bright Side of the Sun Network. And as I mentioned before, go check out the material that these guys are writing.
And SB Nation.
And we're going to have some special guests coming up this year. And, of course, we're going to be doing some draft coverage, NBA free agency. There's a lot of stuff to get ready for as we get ready to win that first title. Definitely next year, because we want to see our buddy from the Uruguay put his face on camera and so much more. So I'll just leave you with that and say, hey, Al McCoy, take us home.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay with us as the Suns get set to shine here on their home court.
Here's Perry. Cigar Hurd. Here's the jump shot. Good! It's good!
Al McCoy with you courtside. Pumped up a three.
Shazam! He ties it. Hey, D.A. Al and Tim up here.
Happy birthday!
Right. Yeah.
I know it's the ball, but happy birthday, baby!
Here's Cameron Payne out on top. Durant, three-pointer straight away.
Shazam! I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone in this arena this afternoon, to all of those that are watching and listening on radio and TV. Thank you for allowing me to tell the story of the Suns for 51 great years.
That pretty much wraps things up here. And for one last time, this is Al McCoy saying thanks for being there. Thanks for being with us tonight. And from the Footprint Center here in downtown Phoenix, we'll just say so long for now.